by AC by J Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Drains.
Coming right up, another fun Varsity Sports Show.
In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
Hi, kids. This is DJ Soulman from the Funk Junkies, and you're listening to the Varsity Sports Show with my man Vince Delicio. And what's your last name?
It's Delicio.
Okay, that's right. That's what I thought. Yeah, right.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
KDUS AM 1060 Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix is brought to you by AC by J Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Drains.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You are listening to the Varsity Sports Show Summer Edition on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona, featuring Tyler Bender, Jake Brown, Trevor Goodwin, Lindsey Selzer, and Xander Simmons. And now, the Varsity Sports Show.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Varsity Sports Show on KDUS AM 1060. It's Tyler Bender in the studio with you. Jake Brown joining me again for another week. This is what, your second week in a row? You were here last week, right?
This is my third week in a row.
Third week in a row. Geez, well, you have one more week coming up, too, so you're going to be doing it.
No, this is my 2 out of 4, 2 of the last 4.
Right. Okay.
Because you and Trevor did a week in
the
before.
Week before,
yeah,
before, that's right.
3 out of 4.
That's right. Well, either way, you're going to be in here for a while. Good morning to you. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right. You know, it's a bit chilly with the rain. Then it's going to be up to like 105. I had to put a sweatshirt on this morning, and now I think I'm going to have to take it off once the show's over.
Yeah, it didn't really feel like a summer's morning walking outside, seeing all the clouds, and, you know, again, you mentioned a little bit of rain, but once you do kind of step out there, it's actually quite humid. I wasn't really prepared for that. Not that I'm not used to it. It's just, you know, we're in Arizona. I'm not ready for the humidity out here. Come on.
What is humidity? I've been in Arizona for 3 years.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I get the pleasure of going back home to Hawaii every now and then, and, you know, the minute you step off the plane, you just feel like you're soaking in a towel. There's no difference. Your shirt, all of a sudden, you could have been in like the most freezing cold airplane in the world, but the minute you get onto that jetway, you just feel like someone's just thrown a rag on top of you and dumped 8 gallons of water on top of your head. So, and then it's the complete opposite. When you step off the plane coming back into Arizona, you feel nothing. Like it's like the void. So it's like, you know, huge contrast. Well, if you are going to go outside today, like Jake mentioned, it's going to get kind of hot. And if this moisture kind of lingers in the air, be careful, guys. Drink a lot of water. I know I've been saying that like every time, but yeah, drink water. Jake just held up his water bottle to me. We got our water going. It is something you definitely need out here in the summer.
Yes, it is. And like I've made the mistakes of not forgetting to drink water, and it's not fun. So please drink your water.
Yeah, it really comes to bite you in the butt. You think you're drinking enough, that's not enough, okay, guys? If you think you're drinking enough, that is not enough. I went golfing. This is a story about like a year ago. It was sometime in August. It was just back for school, and I thought I'd been drinking enough water did not, almost had a heat stroke out there on the course. And it wasn't even close. It was maybe like 102 at the most, which is why like you got to be careful out there. But yeah, so if you have any weekend plans, tomorrow hopefully is a little bit more sunny. You know, these monsoons kind of rolling in, they stay in the bunches. You got any plans for tomorrow, Jake?
Yeah, I'm going to the Nationals D-backs game. Have to go see my team when they're here. So maybe the Nationals will win today or tomorrow and today. But who knows? The D-backs are a scrappy team. They got some good players on there. It's good to see the D-backs are actually winning ball games more than they were the past couple of years.
Right, and it's weird. This is not a team that anybody really had any expectations of coming into this year, especially when you look at the Dodgers and the Padres. Mm-hmm. They kind of held their own, though, for the most part. I mean, as much as that D-backs roster can. I do notice, though, you are rocking the National City Connect.
I am.
I love it. It was so funny. So when those jerseys came out, and I was talking to one of my good buddies, he looked at it. He goes, "Why the heck is there a flower on it?" I was like, "What?" He goes, "Why are there flowers?" If you don't know what I'm talking about, the National City Connect jerseys have cherry blossoms on them because Washington, D.C. is one of the few places in America where cherry blossoms actually grow. And it's like a huge thing, right? Yes. And so he was confused as heck. He goes, "Why the heck are there cherry blossoms on the jersey?" Well, first he didn't even know it was a cherry blossom. Yeah. That was sign number one. And then he didn't even realize. And then once I told him, he goes, "Why?" I'm like, "Because it's one of the few places in America where they grow." And he goes, "Okay, who's supposed to know that?" So, of course, I have to get up in my office. I'm like, "Who knows that cherry blossoms grow in Washington, D.C.?" Boom, everybody's hands go up except for his. And I made him feel like an idiot. But that's what you got to do with your best friends, right?
Yeah, exactly. You gotta make them feel like an idiot sometimes.
I love all the City Connect jerseys though, for the most part. I think they're really cool. The only ones that really irk me are the Colorado ones.
The Colorado ones I actually like.
I don't understand why they're green. Well, they could have done the same thing, but with the purple.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. The ones that I'm not a big fan of are the Dodgers ones.
Okay.
Because first off, they look like pajamas. Second off, like they went Los Dodgers, right?
Right.
But there's the Los Doyers.
Yeah.
That people in LA say when they're talking about Hispanic people in LA say when they're talking about the Dodgers, they say Doyers.
Right.
And I'm like, they could have appealed to that instead of just Los Dodgers.
Yeah, kind of like the Arizona ones where they with the
Serpientes.
Yeah.
I think
that's cool.
I think they're at least top 5.
Exactly.
In my opinion, for the City Connect.
But to wrap this up, I think we all can agree the Boston ones, nice as they look, the yellow is just so off-putting.
I know what they're going for.
Right, I get it too.
But they're the Red Sox.
Exactly.
They're not
the yellow.
They're not the Boston Marathon Sox.
Exactly. The yellow is all over the place. Speaking of going out to LA and Arizona, a lot of good Mexican cuisine. Well, Lindsay actually has a report on a taco place for us. We get more food than just my segment. Lindsay's going to give us a little rundown on her new favorite taco place. Let's give that a listen.
Yeah, Taco Tuesday. I got the cheese. She tasting the cool.
Hey, and what's up, y'all? My name is Lindsay Seltzer from Varsity Sports Show, and I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite new places to eat in Phoenix. This is not a paid ad. Nobody paid me to say this. This is just some place that I love, and it happens to relate even more to me because I am from Houston, Texas, and I'm talking about Torchy's Tacos, which just got to Phoenix about a few weeks ago, starting at the end of June. And it's from Austin, Texas. It started originally with a guy on his Vespa just making tacos, turned into a food truck, went all around Texas, and now we are in Phoenix, and they opened their first location on East Camelback Road in the Biltmore area, and it's fabulous. I've gone there myself. They're also going to be opening another location soon, but I'm going to tell you about the location that's already open. So it's actually the biggest Torchy's Tacos I've ever been to, and I've been to Torchy's Tacos in Austin and a few different ones in Houston as well. This one is so large. There's so much space, and that's a good thing because I know when I went 2 weekends ago, there was a line because it's so good and everybody wants to try it. So I'm very passionate about the fact that Tex-Mex is better than Mexican food everywhere else. And this kind of quenches my Tex-Mex thirst craving. And also, speaking of being thirsty, this Torchy's Tacos, for those who are of age, of course, has a full bar. So not only are there places to sit and have tacos and eat and enjoy, there's also a bar, and there's happy hour every Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. And it's $2 off of all margaritas and signature sips and $1.50 off of all bottled and draft beers. So the drinks are great, the ambiance is awesome, and they have all sorts of kinds of tacos. So what reminds me of Tex-Mex a lot is queso, and the queso is absolutely delightful. They make it a few different ways, but I just love all the different seasonings and sauces they put in it. It has a little bit of a kick. It's a little bit spicy. And honestly, my favorite menu item is going to have to be one of the breakfast tacos. My favorite that I've had so far is the Wrangler. And in the Wrangler, it's a breakfast taco with eggs, potatoes, beef brisket, and cheese and tomatillo sauce on a flour tortilla. It's so good. And I also got a regular bacon, egg, and cheese. But I know that people really love the Democrat and the Republican tacos, and really it's nothing to get political about. They're both very, very good. The Democrat has barbacoa, avocado, cheese, cilantro, onions, and the lime wedge with tomatillo sauce on a corn tortilla, while the Republican is a jalapeno cheddar sausage, pico de gallo, cheddar, jack cheese, and poblano sauce on a flour tortilla. Both so good. I hear so many great things about them. And here's a tip for the experts. If you go in there and you want something and you call it trashy, that means to add queso to it. If you want it extra trashy, extra queso. So that's all I got for y'all today for this little new place I like to eat in Phoenix. That goes back to my home roots in Texas. So I'm Lindsay Selzer from Varsity Sports Show. Everybody should really go try Torchy's Tacos. Happy eating, everybody.
It's the Varsity Sports Show Summer Football Tour. And now, here's Vince.
All right, guys, joined by Desert Mountain head football coach Conrad Hamilton. Coach, you guys have progressively gotten better each year, and I know we're in the midst of the dog days of summer here. You're working your team out here on campus. What are you seeing that's good?
I think just, good question. What's good is we have a lot of guys returning. I mean, that's really the best thing about our program right now, whatever it is. We have a lot of young players in the program, and we're returning probably about 80% of our roster from last year. So I think that's a positive for us. Yep.
How do you feel about this season's schedule? You know, with the realignment of the AIA, does it bode favorable for you? Does it matter?
I mean, it's not as easy as it was last year as far as that's concerned. You know, they put some more challenging teams on our schedule. We're starting off with Cactus, who was an open team last year. They went 10-0, so that'll be a challenge for us. We're playing two bigger schools, two 6A schools, and Mountain View and Chaparral back-to-back. So for a team who's limited with numbers, that could be a challenge for us in that first 4-game stretch. But talent-wise, understanding, continuity, we like where we're at with our program, and if we feel like if we can stay healthy, we can compete with most of those teams. Yeah, so we like where we're at.
Going into last season, you had one starting quarterback, and then due to some unforeseen circumstances, you ended up with another. Now that this year you've got a little more stability at the position, how do you feel? How does your team feel going into the season?
Well, I mean, we're talented on offense. I mean, if you look at it, we have a Division I tight end. The kid is 6'6". He probably gained about 20 pounds of muscle this offseason. We got a Division I receiver. He can play a variety of positions, offense and defense, big length. We got a slot receiver that's, an all-state kid returning for us in Jack Freeberg. Then we have two good quarterbacks, and we have a couple running backs. Santana Wilson will play running back for us this year, and we have our leading rusher returning from last year, and Max Sheffrin. So we like where we're at. And then we have 3 or 4 offensive linemen that started for us last year as well. So our offense is, from a skill standpoint, we feel like it's stacked. It's loaded. It's one of the best skill positions that we've had here at Desert Mountain since I've been here. And then we have 2 quarterbacks. Brady is a scholarship kid in our opinion when he's healthy, and Drew was a section, all first team all section player that gained a lot of experience. The kids rally around him and have a lot of confidence with him playing. So we feel like we have 2 talented guys that can lead us. So we feel like offensive we're in good position. We just don't have a lot of, we can't afford injuries here and there. But I think, going into the season that, teams are going to have to, pick their poison on what they feel like they can stop and challenge, because we feel like we have some threats on the football field.
All right, Coach Conrad Hamilton, Desert Mountain, thanks so much for your time, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Your morning drive just got a little better. The Dan Patrick Show is live weekday mornings starting at 6 exclusively on KDUS AM 1060.
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Lindsay Selzer, and I am a sports journalism master's student at ASU. You could look forward to hearing me every weekend on the Varsity Sports Show from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Saturdays. You can expect to hear a Lowdown with Lynn segment every single week, where you'll find a healthy mix of sports and pop culture just like me. I'll be bringing you all the biggest sports and pop culture headlines, along with many more fun segments. You could also catch me time to time hosting the show. I can't wait to bring y'all loads of great content this summer.
Hey guys, Vince here to talk to you about a good friend of mine named Bob Jenkins. Bob is a Marine Corps veteran. Bob and his younger brother DJ own Vets Built Contracting. You've seen their trucks around Metro Phoenix, I'm sure. For 5 years, they've been hiring and putting veterans to work. Vets Built is licensed, bonded, and insured, both residential and commercial, specializing in renovations, remodeling, new build, casitas, safe rooms, or small commercial TI work. If you're a skilled veteran looking for work, a homeowner in need of work, or a commercial business needing TI work, please call Bob or DJ at Vets Built at 480-584-3675.
Hey guys, Vince here. Please join me in welcoming the 2022 Varsity Sports Show summer broadcast team.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Selzer from ASU's Cronkite School of Journalism.
Hi, I'm Trevor Goodwin from ASU's Sandra Day O'Connor College of Law.
Hi, I'm Jake Brown from ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication.
Hi, I'm Xander Simmons from Cactus Shadows High School.
Hi, I'm Tyler Bender from ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication.
Hey Phoenix, Doug Gottlieb here. I'm bringing the best sports talk weekdays to you, 1 to 3 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060.
This is Trevor Goodwin from Varsity Sports Show with your NBA hardwood update of a week. The summer league has wrapped up after a successful year in Las Vegas. The New York Knicks and Portland Trailblazers faced off in a championship game after both teams entered with a 3-1 record. The Trailblazers came out on top, beating the Knicks 85-77. This is the second Summer League championship for the Trailblazers, with their first championship win in 2018. Blazers forward Trendon Watford was named MVP of a championship game, finishing with 19 points, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 assists. For the first time in the league history, the NBA awarded the champions of the Summer League with championship rings in addition to a trophy. Congratulations to the Portland Trailblazers on winning the 2022 Summer League championship. Sacramento Kings rookie Keegan Murray won Summer League MVP after averaging 23 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal over 4 games in Las Vegas. Keegan Murray was drafted by the Kings with a 4th overall pick in the draft after playing for Iowa in college. Murray posted the highest Summer League scoring average by a top 10 pick since 2012. He was the only player to average at least 20 points per game while shooting 50% from the field and 40% from three-point range. Murray is the second consecutive Kings player to earn all Summer League first team and MVP honors, joining Davion Mitchell, who was named a co-MVP in 2021 after leading Sacramento to the Las Vegas Summer League championship. In free agent news, James Harden is returning to the Philadelphia 76ers on a 2-year, $68.6 million contract, including a player option for a 2023-2024 season, sources told ESPN on Wednesday. The deal guarantees Harden $33 million for next season, an opportunity to decline his $35.6 million player option and negotiate another free agent deal next summer. This provided cap flexibility for the team, allowing them to sign PJ Tucker and Daniel House while also trading for DeAnthony Melton this offseason. Harden decided to take a pay cut to give the 76ers a chance to fortify their roster to give them a better chance to compete for a championship this season. The Los Angeles Lakers are reportedly in trade talks with the Indiana Pacers for Buddy Hield. This comes as the Lakers continue to have a drama-filled offseason with Russell Westbrook. The Pacers are one of a few teams that have plenty of cap space to facilitate a potential Westbrook trade. The Lakers could also facilitate a trade by including multiple players to match Hield's salary, but both trade scenarios would most likely include draft compensation going back to the Pacers. Indiana is in rebuild mode after losing Miles Turner and also losing out on DeAndre Ayton as the Suns matched his restricted free agent sheet last week. This will be an interesting story to watch as both teams are looking to make moves for different reasons. The NBA fined Golden State Warriors owner Joe Lacob $500,000 on Wednesday for comments he made bashing the league's current luxury tax system. He called the luxury tax system very unfair, which the NBA doesn't allow team owners or officials to discuss unauthorized communications regarding collective bargaining. The Warriors paid an NBA record more than $170 million in luxury tax and $346 million in total payroll last season. The NBA increased the salary cap by more than $10 million next season, and the Warriors went more than $39 million over the cap. This is Trevor Goodwin from Varsity Sports Show of your NBA Hardwood Update of the Week. See you next time for another report.
And it feel like game time. Trying to see game 5. I'ma let them know that I got hang time. Then I hit them with the fade like I'm KD. Took it to the board like I'm AD. Now I got the fade.
This is the Valley Tour on the Varsity Sports Show. How's it going, everybody? Tyler Bender from the Varsity Sports Show, back with another edition of the Valley Tour, my little segment where I play golf courses around the valley and I give you my little take on them after I played them. This past week, I got out to Union Hills up in Sun City. I know I was on the show talking to Lindsay and Jake about it live. I want to give you like a full recap of how the round went because I think this course is amazing. It's a little bit on the pricier side, and you know, if you are somewhere in the East or Central Valley, you do have to make quite a drive out there to Sun City. But once you get out there, man, it is a beautiful course. It is very well designed. It's at like an old country club, so a lot of the people there, you know, a little bit on the older side, but they play really well. They're all really nice. The course was in amazing condition for it being the middle of July. Very, very green. A lot of the other courses I've been playing at have been kind of dry, but this one was very green. Very, very well taken care of. The greens were amazing. They were a little slow, actually, which is rare for this time of the year, but it was a lot of fun to play on. A lot of water, a lot of bunkers. It does get tricky. A lot of the holes are pretty straightforward, and by that I mean they're literally straight. There's not a lot of twists and turns in them, but the holes that do have dog legs, or even the ones that are straight, they have a lot of hills you have to play with. So it does get tricky. Even if you are on the fairway, you might have a kind of awkward lie, and you might have a weird shot into the green. But for the most part, I think you'll have a lot of fun on this course. For a championship course, it's probably one of my favorite I've played out here in Arizona so far. It provides not only a challenge, but it's also just pretty easy to play. I know that's a little bit of an oxymoron and a paradox, but it's pretty straightforward. But at the same time, you hit your ball, you don't know where the heck it is, and you get down there and you're like, wow, this is more of a tough shot than I thought I have. So if you're looking for a fun course where you can just kind of kick back, this is the course for you. If you're also looking for something a little challenging where you want to test yourself and maybe try out some new shots, some different clubs, this is also the course for you. You're gonna have a great time on this course, I guarantee it, if you're willing to pay the money and if you're willing to make the drive up there. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys this week. Thanks for joining me on another edition of the Valley Tour. This is Tyler Bender for the Varsity Sports Show.
Hello, Varsity Sports Show. This is Jake Brown, and here is your MLB update. It was All-Star Week at Dodger Stadium, and it was packed with excitement, starting with the Home Run Derby. In the first round, 42-year-old Albert Pujols knocked out favorite Kyle Schwarber in possibly the biggest upset in Home Run Derby history. Mariners rookie Julio Rodriguez put on a show by hitting over 60 home runs total in the first two rounds, knocking out division rival Corey Seager and last year's winner Pete Alonso. In the end, Juan Soto became the second Washington National to win the Home Run Derby, beating out Julio Rodriguez 19-18 in the championship round. Also, shout out to my dad for picking Juan Soto to win it all on this show last weekend. Speaking of Juan Soto, there are lots of rumors floating around that the Nationals are potentially going to trade the 23-year-old star after Soto rejected a $440 million deal over 15 years. Soto expressed his displeasure at the All-Star Game press conference, saying that he wished the contract talks would stay private, and that he feels uncomfortable about these rumors. The trade deadline is August 2nd, and it would take an overwhelming package to get Soto in a deal. The Seattle Mariners tied an MLB record by winning 14 games in a row by the All-Star break. This is also the second longest winning streak in Mariners history, with the record being 15 games back in the record-breaking 2001 season. Finally, the All-Star Game was held Tuesday night. Clayton Kershaw made his first All-Star Game start in front of a home crowd for the NL, facing off Rays starter Shane McClanahan for the AL. The NL took an early 2-0 lead with the help of a solo home run from Cardinals first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. But it would be the only runs for the NL would score, as the AL hit back-to-back homers in the third, a 2-run homer from Yankees outfielder Giancarlo Stanton, and a solo bomb from Twins outfielder Byron Buxton. Stanton took home All-Star Game MVP in a 3-2 AL victory. That's it for your MLB update. I'm Jake Brown, Varsity Sports Show.
Welcome back into the studio. Tyler Benner, Jake Brown with you for the Varsity Sports Show, KDUS AM 1060. Jake, thank you for the update on the MLB. The All-Star Game is something I look forward to every year, and then right around like the time it gets to it, I just peter out. I don't know what it is. I feel like ever since they stopped making it matter for home field advantage, it just in the World Series, I'm just not interested.
Yeah, I've never been really enticed specifically by the home run or by the All-Star Game, but the home run derby is where I went to the All-Star Week in 2018 because it was in D.C. And the home run derby, when you go, it's just absolutely electric. It is like something. It's like going to a World Series game. I mean, I've never been, but like, it's like going to a playoff game. I'll say that. It was absolutely insane, especially the championship round against Schwarber and Harper. Like I can't imagine what it was like in Dodger Stadium with Julio Rodriguez and Juan Soto live.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that Pete Alonso, trying to go for that three-peat, didn't even make it. Julio Rodriguez just wiped the floor with him. And Kyle Schwarber losing to Albert Pujols, of all people, who we thought was going to retire after this year, but, signed one more year with the Cards so he could retire as a Cardinal and, go into the Hall as a Cardinal. But, man, the home run derby was so fun. And actually, you know what my favorite event of All-Star Weekend is?
What is it?
I think everyone's going to agree with this. It's the softball game. Come on. That stuff is so awesome. When they had that one year with Snoop Dogg mic'd up in the outfield and he went chasing a ball and he flipped over like the little makeshift fence they put out there. that was so great. The softball game always has the best. The fact that ESPN still or SportsCenter, the Instagram, still puts the highlight of Bill Nye like hitting singles and making plays. Mm-hmm. Like when they run out of content, they post that like maybe every 2 weeks. Like that's how you know that thing is legendary.
I was at that one, and Shaq was DJing that.
Oh, yes, that's right.
That game. So it was just it's one of the more out there events, because it's not like it's technically baseball, but it's not like you're not surrounded by baseball players. It's just celebrities being everyday people.
Right. And of course you get the all-star, you get the former, like the retired players who'll come back and play. I remember Andre Dawson was there one year. You get some of the big guys to come back and play. Frank Thomas was there one year. But seeing the celebrities interact with them and then watching these guys just go up and hit shots because someone's lobbing the ball at them, it's so awesome. And I really wish they showed it live. They always show the recording of it on ESPN after. I really wish it was live, because if it was live, it would be even funnier because they can't cut out all like the random stuff that happens. You would get all the fun little interactions that they can't cut out, and I really wish we're able to see that. But we're going to go to break real quick. Coming up afterwards, Lindsay's going to call in live from another location in the United States that is in Arizona. Last time we were on the show, she called in from New York. She's going to be calling in from San Diego. That and more as the Varsity Sports Show comes back after the break on KDUS AM 1060.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m.
This is just something I like to call breakfast.
With big name guests, timely sports information, and more on KDUS AM 1060.
What's up? It's Xander Simmons. I'm a junior at Cactus Shadows High School, and I'm here this June to give you my takes on the latest in sports. I specialize in baseball, and as a huge MLB fan, I watch my Dodgers every game day. There's nothing like the crack of the bat when I'm at the game and having that rare opportunity to catch a foul ball. Tune into the Varsity Show every Saturday morning to hear more.
Training Better Athletes was founded by renowned football coach Ron Sowers with the philosophy of training well-rounded young people in mind and body. TBA is the go-to for middle schoolers through the pros. Coach Sowers has worked with all sports but specializes in football offensive and defensive line skills training. Whether it's one-on-one or group training, reach out to Coach Sowers at trainingbetterAthletes.com or call him at 602-435-9064. You can't cheat the grind.
Welcome to the Jaguar Nation. The Varsity Sports Show is proud to partner up with Canyon View High School in the West Valley to be the voice of Jaguar athletics. Tune in on Saturdays to hear the Jaguar Nation, featuring coaches, students, and staff between 9 and 10 a.m. on AM 1060 KDUS, and subscribe to the Varsity Sports Show YouTube channel to get free exclusive coverage of Canyon View sporting events. Welcome to the Jaguar Nation.
Jack it up.
Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com.
KDUS AM 1060 is the home to the Dan Patrick Show, the Doug Gottlieb Show, and Sports Map Radio. Catch all the sports content here on AM 1060.
Welcome back into the Varsity Sports Show. Tyler Bender, Jake Brown in the studio with you. And we got Lindsay live from San Diego. Lindsay, how's it going?
What's up, y'all? How are we?
Doing good. Is the weather for you better out there than it is here?
You want to take a guess?
I'm going to go with no, just knowing the San Diego area. It's also kind of cloudy and rainy majority of the time. So I'm going to guess it's the same for you.
Oh, yeah. No, honestly, it's been so amazing. I walked outside yesterday, and I just felt this weight coming off my shoulders that I wasn't walking outside to feel miserable.
That's perfect. We love to hear that. So what are you doing out in California right now, actually?
So I'm visiting my best friend, Molly. She's sitting next to me. We were freshman year roommates at the University of Arizona, and we've been friends since. So that's 6 years ago, and Dang. She just moved down here, so I had to come see what all the hype's about.
How you liking it so far?
I love it. I mean, I've actually been to San Diego years ago when we were driving from the airport. I actually saw this huge roller coaster, and I looked at Molly and I said, honestly, that looks kind of familiar. And she goes, Lindsay, that's SeaWorld. And I realized I've actually been on that roller coaster.
Well, there you go. So are you planning to visit like the Disneyland, SeaWorld, Legoland, anything out there?
Nah. None of that now. You know, maybe one day if I have children, I'll go back there. But for now, I'll stay far away and just go on the beach and hang out and take walks, visit a few of the bars in Pacific Beach and elsewhere, and just kind of hang out.
Lindsay, I don't know how long you've been there yet, but what are some recommendations for visiting San Diego?
So I want to give y'all a food recommendation.
Another one.
Here we go.
Place. Yeah, the place we ate last night was incredible. It was called Cesarina Pasta, and it was so cute. It was like a little patio vibe, sitting outside, not being miserable again, something I really appreciate. The menus were cute. The plates were even cute. They had designs all over them. Very authentic Italian food. So when you eat the pasta, you didn't feel bloated after.
Perfect.
Sounds great.
Something about the Italians and the way they make it, it's so much different than eating it in America. I don't know what it is, and I've had a couple Italian friends, and they can't even tell me. So at this point, I'm just going to assume that it's like some secret that they actually aren't telling us, and it's like they're on lockdown. Like if they say it, they're like going to get their Italian card revoked or something like that.
It's not like going to Noodles and Company.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Because when you eat pasta, I feel like that's not homemade, authentic Italian pasta like that. You just feel awful. And I'm the biggest pasta supporter in the entire world.
Oh yeah, I love pasta, and it's just like I
made some last night.
But if I go to like an Italian restaurant like nearby downtown Phoenix, like it's not the same as like homemade or going to like an authentic Italian restaurant.
Absolutely. So if y'all come to San Diego, you can go to Saracina. I think. Hold on. Saracina. Cesarina, there she is. Cesarina. Molly coming in for the win.
Thank you for the confirmation, Molly.
Yeah, so that's why we have her. She just keeps me in line here.
I have a theory, actually. I'm going to throw this out there. Maybe it's not actually in the noodles. Maybe we've got this whole thing wrong. We're thinking it's the carbs and the noodles that bloat us. Maybe it's in the sauce. That really has to be it, right? Maybe it's actually in the way that the sauce is made. And
honestly,
there's something about it that in America, maybe it's like it's too heavy or it's too greasy, and maybe there's something about it. That's my theory.
I mean, honestly, that's not the worst theory you've ever said. Like, I could totally see it. Also, there's so much oil. I feel like, and Americans put a lot of butter in things, so maybe that could be the situation. But I also think that there is something in the noodles. Like, we put more gluten or something. Like, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, we just don't make them the right way. That definitely has to be it. So what's the plans for the rest of the day then?
Okay, listen to this. Tell me how this sounds, okay? We're going to go walk around Pacific Beach and go grab brunch.
Okay.
And then we might hit some paddle boards later today. If not tomorrow, we're going to go paddle boarding. Also, Molly, my friend, she works for Viore, which is, if you don't know, a nice athleisure company. And they have stores all around here, so we're going to go hit up Viore. So shout out Viore. Go check it out for men and women. It's awesome, so y'all could wear it as well. Nobody's exclusive over here, and it's all athletic stuff, so really nice. And then we're going to go to dinner and then maybe hit the town tonight.
Awesome. That sounds like you got a lot of fun. Yeah, it sounds like you got a heck of a day planned. We're going to let you get to that. Thank you so much for joining us, Lindsay, and thank you to Molly for, guiding you around and keeping you in line here.
Yes. Okay. Y'all have fun, boys.
All right, thank you.
Coming up next, we got Vince with more of the summer football tour. We're going to give that a listen right now.
It's the Varsity Sports Show Summer Football Tour. And now, here's Vince.
All right, guys, joined by Benjamin Franklin Chargers head football coach Dave Jeffries. The Chargers coming off a 6-5 season last year, first-round playoff berth, and a lot of optimism going into this coming season. Coach Jeffries, how you doing, sir?
Real good, Vince. Thanks for having me on your program.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And, we're real excited because we've had an opportunity to feature you guys. We did it a couple of years ago, and now we're circling back. We're going to do it again this year. And always great to see a team that's such a run-heavy team with some talented athletes, and looking forward to seeing that. Coach, coming off of last year, you guys had just literally been we're a year off of moving up into 4A and made the playoffs last year. What was the vibe, the feeling coming out of last season and heading into the off season?
Well, last season was real good for us because it was our second year in 4A, and we felt like we were able to compete. The year before, we struggled pretty bad, and we had just come off a really big high of being the state runner-up in 3A, moved up to 4A, and we had a real tough schedule. We'd lost some really good athletes the year before, and so we had a real tough time. The COVID thing, I know that affected everybody, but I really felt like it affected us a bunch because a program like ours, we need all those spring, summer, we need camp, we need those things because we don't necessarily have a bunch of physically, athletically, football savvy kids, but what we do have are a lot of great kids. We competed in just about every game. I think there was one or two games we struggled. I think the highlight, though, you don't usually have a highlight as a loss, but when we played Mesquite in the first round of the playoffs, we had just played them 2 weeks before, and we really, to put it bluntly, we got hammered. And so to come out there and compete, I don't remember the score. I don't think it looked pretty scoreboard-wise, but just seeing the improvement from just 2 weeks earlier, seeing them and not really having any success at all. So it was a good way to finish the season, even though it was a loss. We felt good about our improvement over the course of the season.
Coach, what was interesting about watching you guys is, and what I like to do is over the course of a game, not only see the game and what's going on the field, but I like to scan the sideline. Coach, there weren't a lot of kids on your sideline. So when you list a player that's for example, Dawson Smith, running back, defensive back, he is literally the running back, the defensive back on the field. I mean, so when you talk about the fact that COVID hit you guys hard, it's almost like double what a normal team faces because your numbers are so thin and you've got a solid group of young men, but it just to do what you're doing with such a small group is nothing short of amazing.
Yeah, I mean we definitely have kids playing, but if they're really good, they're going to be the type that are always on the field and never leave the field, and it gets a little tricky sometimes trying to make sure that we have a way to get them a blow here and there, whether it's on the offensive side or the defensive side of the ball, because I'm all about having kids out there and never coming off the field, but at some point it's good to just get them a breather, get them off for a few plays so they can kind of catch their breath, regroup, maybe you give them a coaching point here or there. Yeah, we definitely utilize several kids that go both ways that don't come off the field a whole lot. So it's a fun little puzzle we work out, and we are able to use. Last year we were able to use kids in 6 quarters because that's a 3A rule that we kind of asked if we could get that applied to us because we are a 3A size school.
Yeah.
This year though, I don't think that's the case, but it looks like they've allowed all levels to play kids in 5 quarters during the week. So that allows us to have a JV kid who, I don't want to have him just dress for varsity only to be on the special teams, right, and not get any reps at his regular position. But it allows him to play in maybe the first half of the JV game at his regular position. Maybe he's a running back, maybe he's a linebacker, and then he can dress out the next night and play in those special teams. So we get creative with a lot of that to utilize the players that we do have.
All right. Ben Franklin Chargers Coach Dave Jeffries here on the Varsity Sports Show. Coach Jeffries, thank you so much for the opportunity. We're looking forward to covering you guys again this season and as one of our Thursday night games of the week and team of the week. And we will talk to you a little later in the season. Thanks again, Coach.
Definitely. We're looking forward to that game for sure.
Well, that's crazy to think that you can take JV players and have them play varsity and then come down. I've never really heard that concept before.
Yeah, I've heard it in wrestling because I used to be a wrestler. They would do that all the time. But in football, I've never heard of that. So it was really interesting.
Yeah, no, back home in baseball, they made it so that if you played JV or something your freshman and sophomore year, and then if you went up to varsity different seasons, you could come back down and play JV if you didn't play like X amount of innings in varsity. To go both ways, to play 2 days in a row, that's insane. And then to play on both sides of the ball too, man, you got to hand it to these guys. I remember if I was in high school, heck, I can't do that. I was sitting on the bench as a pitcher. I could barely even pitch 5 innings at a time, man. That's kind of crazy. After the break, we come back with my Sounds Like segment, but we're going to do it live. Jake, I got something for you, so be prepared for that. We're going to have a lot of fun with that when the Varsity Sports Show returns. Tyler Bender, Jake Brown in the studio on KDUS AM 1060.
Catch the Doug Gottlieb Show weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and online at KDUS1060.com.
This is Trevor Goodwin from Varsity Sports Show, and this summer I will be covering the topics that have the sports world talking that week, from the pros to college to your local community. There's never a dull moment, and there's no such thing as an off-season. Don't miss out on any of the content. Tune in weekly to the Varsity Sports Show, 1060 KDUS, Arizona. See you there.
Show you something that you ain't never see. Go 5 rings, 5 chains. Check. 2 watches, that's 12. Come through and slam on you. I'm in the air. Before it's all said and done, let me make one thing clear. What? True to it, not new to it. I'm rookie of the year.
The Varsity Sports Show is proud to partner with SaberCat Athletics. That's right, the Scottsdale Saguaro SaberCats are on the Varsity Sports Show. Join the varsity team as we cover the Cats during the SaberCat Report on Saturday morning's Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona, featuring players, coaches, and commentary. Look out for live stream coverage of Saguaro SaberCat sporting events by going to YouTube and searching for Varsity Sports Show, then click that subscribe button to stay up to date. The Saguaro SaberCats are here.
Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com. Chris Scott of RE/MAX is Central Oregon's best realtor for anyone thinking of a vacation home or relocation. He's our very own born and raised Phoenician who moved his family to Central Oregon nearly 15 years ago. Contact Chris if you're thinking of exploring beautiful Central Oregon. It truly is living at its best. 541-999-5614. Proud partner of the Varsity Sports Shows, it's Dylan.
Interact with Bob Kemp's poll question on KDUS1060.com. That's KDUS1060.com. And while you're there, check out Bob Kemp's bottom line at KDUS1060.com.
Welcome back into the Varsity Sports Show. Tyler Bender, Jake Brown in the studio with you here on KDUS AM 1060. All right, we're going to do Sounds Like. Now, this is my segment, of course, where I take music and I show you samples and covers and stuff like that. But we're going to do it live today because I have something interesting I want to talk about. The song I just played there, that was What a Fool Believes by the Doobie Brothers when Lindsay was live. That was Brandy by Looking Glass. This is all part of a genre that we know now today as yacht rock. Back then, they called it soft rock. Now we call it yacht rock because it's, imagine like you're like a Californian in like the 80s. This is the music you'd listen to on your yacht. That's pretty much where the idea comes from. I have a radio show for it on the Arizona State student radio station Blaze Radio called The Yacht Spot, and that's all the music I play. So something I've been thinking about recently, though, is how a lot of yacht rock is actually sampled into hip-hop, believe it or not. There's a lot of songs. Yacht rock is this weird intersection of rock and R&B and jazz, as you heard with the Michael McDonald or the Doobie Brothers song right there. We're going to play a Michael McDonald song for you here. This is called I Keep Forgetting. Aaron, if you can go ahead and play that for us now.
We're not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again.
So again, that's I Keep Forgetting by Michael McDonald. You can kind of hear, it's a little jazzy, it's a little R&B, but it's still rock at the end of the day. It's soft rock. But I wanted to ask you, Jake, does that sound like any song you know?
Doesn't really sound, it sounds familiar, but I can't place it.
Okay, it does sound familiar because you're going to hear it right now. Aaron, can you go ahead and play the second song for us?
Regulators, mount up.
You hear it now?
I hear it now.
So that, of course, is Warren G's Regulate. I played the instrumental version there just so we don't have to worry about having any rap lyrics. The majority of the song is okay, but I didn't want to feature any of it. I know, we don't really play rap on this station. Trevor's like the only one who does it. It's funny. We love it. But yeah, that is Warren G's Regulate. And they started calling that G-Funk, right? Mm-hmm. That was kind of like the beginning of the era, but that takes directly from Michael McDonald's I Keep Forgetting. And you kind of see this intersection of the R&B and the jazz and the funk, which is historically an African-American derived music, right? But then you take the elements of rock and stuff, which, you can argue that also goes back to the African-American roots, but a lot of the music is derived from white people. And you create this intersection, which is something that you would never think of. And literally all they're doing is taking a bass drum, an 808 at the time, and just throwing it on top. And it works perfectly fine. It fits so well. In fact, we're going to play another one. This is a song, Where I Want to Be by Shade Shice. I'm going to play it because it came to mind because Nate Dogg is also in it. Nate Dogg was in Regulate. Aaron, if you can go ahead and play that song for us.
Where I wanna be, right here with my loved one.
So that was Nate Dogg there on the vocals. Now, mind you, this song, Where I Want to Be, it came out in 2000. I actually heard this on TikTok. I hate to say this, but I heard that song on TikTok. This is where I got the idea. I heard it, and I instantly thought, I know that beat. I know exactly where that's from. Aaron, if you can go ahead and play the final song for us. Now, if you're a fan of old school rock, that voice is distinctive. That's Bobby Kimball. This is Toto. That's a song called Waiting for Your Love. It came back all the way out in 1982 on the Toto 4 album. And yet they take it into a 2000 song. They use the exact beat. They just throw an 808 on top of it, and it works. And I've always wondered, where do they get the inspiration? Why is it specifically songs from this yacht rock genre that gets taken a lot? And it's like I explained earlier, it's because yacht rock was that intersection of R&B and rock. It was something that was already so accessible to the hip hop genre, something that already plays into it, that all they had to do was throw the beat over the top of it, and it works perfectly fine. And I think that's amazing to see the evolution of music like that. That's what I've tried to show throughout the segment, is the evolution of music and how we get to from the classic rock and the early pop days to what we have now with a lot of rap music and trap music and pop, but in different chords and with different sounds. That's how we got to it, is taking the evolutions and just slowly adding on top of it. And eventually, once the machines start to come in with different drum lines and stuff like that, we see even more so. And that was just something I kind of wanted to share with you. What do you think about that, Jake?
It is incredibly interesting. I've always been interested in where where all these like sound bites come from, like these beats come from. That's the word. And because a lot of times they're just sampled.
Right.
They're not. They're not original, but they come from early music. Sometimes they come from even earlier than that. And it's always fun. It's always interesting to me to hear where beats and sound bites come from in today's music.
Again, I get a lot of my research from a website called whosampled.com. So if you ever hear a song and you think it's sampled, or you want to know if it's sampled or if it's sampling something else, go to whosampled.com, search it in, you're going to find it. It's an amazing website. I recommend it to any music lover who is looking to do a deeper dive into music and the intersections between genres. But enough of music. Let's stay on this idea of pop culture. Jake, let's go over to your Now Showing segment.
Hello, Varsity Sports Show. This is Jake Brown, and it's time for Now Showing. While I usually give a synopsis of new movies that are coming out this weekend, outside of Jordan Peele's Nope, there aren't a lot of new movies out. So instead, let's talk about two movies I saw recently, Elvis and Where the Crawdads Sing. While Elvis has been out for a while, I still think it's worth talking about because of how good it was. From the acting from Austin Butler as Elvis, Tom Hanks as Colonel Tom Parker, and how good the story was. Unlike past biopics on famous musicians like Rocket Man and Bohemian Rhapsody, writer and director Baz Luhrmann used Elvis' songs as a plot point instead of trying to check off a box for a soundtrack. The Elvis movie also wasn't afraid to show controversies from Elvis and his manager, Tom Parker. This was my introduction to Austin Butler, and he did not disappoint. In fact, I think it was an Oscar-worthy performance. Tom Hanks is obviously a legend when it comes to movies, but I think his portrayal of Tom Parker was immaculate, and that was really the first time I can remember Tom Hanks playing a villain. I believe this is Hanks' best performance in the last 5 years. The only knock I'd have on the movie is that the second act was a little slow, but it didn't take away from my enjoyment of the movie. Out of 10, I'd give Elvis a 9.5. Really solid movie. So last weekend, my mom wanted to see Where the Crawdads Sing. And once your mom asks you to do something, you have to do it. If not for my mom, I would have had no interest in seeing this movie. I hadn't read the book beforehand, so I didn't really know much about it. Anyway, I saw the movie this week, and I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story and how it was organized, the characters were really well developed, and the actors gave solid performances. This was my introduction to almost all of the main cast, with the exception of Kaya's lawyer, played by David Strathairn. Audiences really enjoyed Where the Crawdads Sing, with a solid 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, while critics weren't as kind, with a consensus that the story falls flat compared to its source material. Out of 10, I'd give this movie a 7. If you've read the book, you will enjoy this movie. That's it for Now Showing. Come back next week to see what's playing at your local theater. I'm Jake Brown, Varsity Sports Show.
Jake, you're going to hate me for this, but I haven't seen Elvis yet.
Oh, man.
I haven't been to a movie in a while now that I think about it. I think the last one was Doctor Strange, and that was, over like 2 months ago at this point?
Yeah, that was like May or something like that.
Yeah. I need to go out and see it. I've heard so many great things about it, and I'm really interested in it. So
yeah, it's a really great movie. It's a long movie, but you'll be captivated the entire time.
Perfect. As long as I get to go to one of those theaters where they have like the reclining chairs.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? And then I can like sit back and like probably fall asleep, but it will be worth it. It'll be worth it. I don't know. There's something about lying down and eating your popcorn as opposed to sitting up and eating your popcorn. I know that's like not healthy for you, but it just feels better. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
It just feels better. But I get so cold in theaters. I always wear jeans because it's freezing. I don't know how they do it. I hate the cold. Coming up after the break, we're coming to the top of the hour, so you know what it's time for. It's everybody's favorite segment. It's Dylan coming up after the break, as well as Vince continuing the summer football tour. All that and more as the Varsity Sports Show got one more hour left. Stick around with us until after the break. Varsity Sports Show, Tyler Bender, Jake Brown in the studio with you on KDUS AM 1060.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hey everyone, my name is Tyler Bender and I'm a student at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. Being from Hawaii, I'm really big on community and family, so I'm very happy to be a part of yours. This summer on the Varsity Sports Show, I'll be bringing you content such as music, food, sports, and everything under the sun. So if you want to learn more about me and my voice, listen to me every Saturday on the Varsity Sports Show. We'll see you guys around.
Hey guys, Vince here. Please join me in welcoming the 2022 Varsity Sports Show Summer Broadcast Team.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Selzer from ASU's Cronkite School of Journalism.
Hi, I'm Trevor Goodwin from ASU's Sandra Day O'Connor College of Law.
Hi, I'm Jake Brown from ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication.
Hi, I'm Xander Simmons from Cactus Shadows High School.
Hi, I'm Tyler Bender from ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication.
Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com. In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
KDUS AM 1060 Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix is brought to you by AC by J, Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Drains.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You are listening to the Varsity Sports Show Summer Edition on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona, featuring Tyler Bender, Jake Brown, Trevor Goodwin, Lindsay Selzer, and Xander Simmons. And now, the Varsity Sports Show.
Welcome to Dylan. He's out and about looking for fun. He's Dylan. Brought to you by Chris Scott of Remax Key Properties in Bend, Oregon, where it's living at its best. 541-999-5614. And now, it's Dylan.
All right, so one of my favorite times of the morning is when I get a chance to chat with an old friend. And when he's not available, I call this guy, Dylan Weinmiller, for It's Dylan.
Good one.
Yeah. Dylan, so it sounds like you've been doing some work. I mean, you talk about getting out and about and exercising, but hard labor doesn't necessarily agree with you now, does it?
No, but when you lose 10 pounds a day or whatever you put on the night before and it drops off the next day when you're out in the heat and working hard out in the just sweating and burning. You know, I was the first day I didn't wear a long sleeve shirt. I learned that lesson pretty fast. Just for the listeners, helping my 75-year-old dad who is going through cancer and everything else. He just can't stop. He's a workaholic, so he just cannot stop taking these side jobs. And so as the great son that I am, I feel terrible that he's out there doing it. So I volunteer my time and I go out and help him, and I am simply not the same. I'm not the same anymore after 5 days of grunt. I'm just the grunt work guy, the guy that cleans everything and stirs and lifts and pushes and pulls.
There's another name for that. It's called unskilled labor. So,
that's why I'm not getting paid very much. I don't think the wages have tipped the scales for the unskilled labor.
Yeah,
sure, but you described it. That's me, and I'm ruining a bunch of my good clothes in the process. So it's just been a great week.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that's how you're spending your weekend then.
No, you know what? Fortunately, we've got that off, so it's relaxation and recuperation. Monday, the materials will get delivered for the rest of the project.
Yeah.
And then I actually, and I hope we can edit this part out so the listeners don't think less of me, but I get to tap out after a Wednesday. I'm going to go back to work and take advantage of a couple free days, early days. So I'll go work in the air conditioning in my office and flip-flop and shorts.
Now, for people that don't know, you are a school teacher. So people that
I am a school teacher.
Yes. So for all of the complaining that teachers do on the excessive training, you're actually going to take advantage of it to get out of working with your father and get back in the classroom, and that's why you're speaking so proudly and fondly of the experience of going back to work early.
When you put it that way, it doesn't sound like a very good thing that I'm doing, but hopefully he'll get the job done. He'll find somebody else that can do all the meaningless things that I do. So I can go and get some professional development and basically get paid for being somewhere versus hanging out with him all day and reading. And at that point, thinking to myself all day, I don't say it out loud, but I say it to myself, why did I go to college again if I'm out here doing this?
Yes.
And it's tough. God bless everybody that does it every day, and we need everybody that does it, and it's admirable work, but I just have zero skills and am not very good at it.
Yeah.
So.
And you're kind of lazy too. So it's
well, if you add that into it, it makes it a little bit. Worse.
So as we're starting to wind down on summer, I don't. It feels odd saying that because back when we were kids, summer would wind down in Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day, wasn't it?
Yeah. But now it's we're getting close to school starting. A lot of districts August 1st, August 8th. So, but I guess you could say we're winding down summer. So are there any events, any shows, any concerts that are still going on out there?
A lot of stuff is getting announced. Nothing that I know of that's coming up that at least I'll be doing. I'm actually going to get toning it down and getting ready for school. How summer goes.
Yeah.
You just wait. You binge watch a bunch of I'm not a big TV watcher, but summertime, watching a lot of TV, going to bed late, still getting up at 5 and trying to do my thing during the day and whatnot. I missed out on some trips. I did have to take the poor little Lokester in and spend about $2,300 on his mouth, on his teeth.
Ouch.
So that, and I knew that was coming. So that was part of the reason why I didn't go out and do some of the things that I really wanted to do this summer. And, it's tough not going to see the guys up in Oregon and up and down the coast and whatnot. But, the little guy, he's 14. He had a really bad set of choppers. Now he's only got about 3 or 4 left in his mouth. So, he's pretty much, we'll see if he snaps out of it. But right now he just sleeps. He's not doing too well, but we'll see.
All right. Well,
he's 14. Hopefully I can squeeze a couple more years out of him.
Yeah.
And that was the big thing with these teeth, that you get those infections and in the liver and whatnot. And then that's really what goes downhill fast for those little dogs. So just wanted to take care of him. And there's where my, I'm actually proud of myself that I had the discipline to save that much for the end of the summer.
Yeah.
And, but now I'm in starvation mode. So, working with my dad and going back to work early. So.
Okay.
Well, play the game. Play the game.
Well, yeah, good. And I guess if you look on the bright side, glass half full type of guy that I am, being in starvation mode means that you're not eating as much.
No, it just means I'm eating worse.
Oh, okay.
I'm eating cheaper, and with cheaper means more
pork
just
rinds
bad
and
things going into the body. Yeah, the frozen pizzas and that kind of stuff. And,
okay. Well, there you have it, folks. This week's edition of It's Dylan. Big thank you to Chris Scott. All right, Dylan, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you next week.
It's the Varsity Sports Show Summer Football Tour. And now, here's Vince.
All right, guys, joined by Corona del Sol new head football coach, Jake Barrow. Coach Barrow, you joined a storied program, a lot of history. You guys are up here at Camp Tonazona. We're sitting in the corner of fame. I forgot the name of it. Just took a little shot of it. And so how does it feel to you? Do you feel like you've come full circle because you have some family members that have been involved with the early development of Corona del Sol? You're a Tempe guy. So how does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great feeling. It feels like a homecoming, really. My grandfather opened the school in '78, and, we've always had roots here at Corona. And so, you pick up, you travel, you do some different things and move around, especially in this profession. But to be able to come back somewhere that feels like home, it really is a special deal.
We talked about in past conversations, we talked about the state championship out at Casa Grande. That's done. That's gone. Now you've got to start a whole new tradition or building on old traditions here at Corona del Sol. You also talked about the fact that the previous head coach, John Bechtold, did a great job of managing the ship, even had some very successful seasons. How does it feel coming in after that, and how are you different?
I think a lot of it's just bringing back some of the old culture and a lot of good things were going on. Like you said, Coach Bechtold did a great job, so a lot of good things were happening. It's just kind of trying to build off of it, keep the success that they were having going and try to build and maybe take the program to the next level. That's kind of the goal, and talk about the state championship at Casa Grande. Hopefully this is something we can build here. I mean, that's always the end goal, eventually, to build something like that. So it's you see a lot of good, proud tradition here. They've had a lot of success in the past. It's just kind of you want to build off it and hopefully maybe get to even the next level.
It's commonplace where multiple schools will come in during the same week at camp. You guys shut the camp down and have all of your team here. I mean, there is over 100 student athletes here. Do you think they've all bought in?
It's really been good so far. The buy-in level has been great, and this is a really important week for us as far as that goes, the buy-in, to find out what are we really about, what kind of team are we really going to be, and who are going to step up as leaders and, face a little adversity each day and overcome it and work together, and that's really what camp's all about. So it's nice to have this place to ourselves because we can really focus on us and getting better as a team.
Let's talk about the team leadership here, and you've got some guys coming back, but last year, from what I recall, it was a fairly young team as well. So what position group, or is there one particular position group that has more or less picked up the slack and put the team on their backs going into camp?
Yeah, it's been a lot of, there's been really a unit, all the way throughout. I've seen a lot of different position groups step up and be leaders. The ones that really pop open, my mind, are the offensive and defensive line. We've got some good senior leadership there, and it all starts up front. Without a good offensive and defensive line, you're not going to be a very good team. So we've got some guys that really work hard. They really have the respect of their teammates, and having them up here kind of directing things and working with each other has been great. And I really think we're going to have a great week with those guys.
Well, I can imagine your skill positions have to be happy with the development of the line as well. And past teams, I don't know so much as with last year's team, but that wasn't necessarily an area of strength. So it's nice to see that position group is developing. You obviously can't do this alone. What are some of the staff that are working with you?
Yeah, well, I've got a really, really good staff here. We've got a good mix of guys that came with me from Casa Grande and guys that were here, Corona guys. It's almost half and half, so it's been a really, really good kind of come-together moment and sharing good ideas. I have Dominic Henderson's my defensive coordinator. He's been with me the last 8 years. He does a terrific job. My dad's coaching the receivers, so that's always a really, really cool thing. Yeah, he's been with Corona for a while, way back in the 80s, and now he's kind of come full circle back now. And I had him, obviously, he coached with me at Casa Grande as well. And then we've got some really good.
Do you have to pay him? Are you paying your dad?
No, he's a volunteer, so I'm very fortunate. I don't have to.
There you go.
He doesn't cost me a dime.
Oh, nice. Hey,
no, yeah.
What about at Grandpa too?
No, he's passed away, but he would have been
Okay.
he would have been a great addition as well to have the whole band back together.
Yeah.
And then we have some really good Corona guys, Ken Olson and Chad Ackerley does the operations for us. So some really good guys that have been around the program for a while.
Final question, Coach. Pick one word that you think pretty much sums up your team.
Family. That's what we want to be, and that's what we are. We're a family. It's more than football. It's more than just coming together and practicing for 2 hours a day. We want to develop a team and a program where the players genuinely care and love each other, and I really think we're getting there, and I really think we've gotten there in a lot of sense because we do have a team that cares about each other, and family is what we go for, and it's what we're becoming.
Awesome. Okay, Corona del Sol coach Jake Barrow, Varsity Sports Show. Thrilled and honored beyond belief to be your official coverage team this season. We're going to be covering all 10 games and then some after the fact into the postseason, fingers crossed. Coach, thank you so much for the opportunity and good luck.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Every Monday night, check out Ray Adams as he hosts the Monday Night Golf and Lifestyle Show from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show is proud to present the Thursday and Saturday night high school football game of the week. Coaches, administrators, boosters, and fans partner up with the varsity team to broadcast your games this fall. Choose from Thursday or Saturday night and have an exclusive audience on a big stage. Call or text us at 480-779-9437 right away and join our team. High school football action on Thursdays and Saturday nights this fall, brought to you by the Varsity Sports Show.
This is Dylan, the star of It's Dylan on the Varsity Sports Show. Tune in Saturdays for It's Dylan.
Chris Scott of RE/MAX is Central Oregon's best realtor for anyone thinking of a vacation home or relocation. He's our very own born and raised Phoenician who moved his family to Central Oregon nearly 15 years ago. Contact Chris if you're thinking of exploring beautiful Central Oregon. It truly is living at its best. 541-999-5614. Proud partner of the Varsity Sports Shows, It's Dylan.
Check out KDUS AM 1060 on 100.7 KSLX HD2. That's right, HD radio on 100.7 channel number 2.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. Tyler Bender, Jake Brown in the studio with you. We got Trevor Goodwin live on the line. I understand you got an interview for us, Trevor. How you doing?
Doing good. Thank you, Tyler. I'm joined with Arizona Rattlers wide receiver Isaiah Houston. The Rattlers clinched home field advantage for the first 2 rounds of the playoffs and play round 1 on Sunday against the Duke City Gladiators at 3:05 p.m. Tickets are available on Ticketmaster.com. Thank you, Isaiah, for joining the show today. How's the team's approach on the playoffs as the team is riding a 4-game winning streak and is also 3-0 against the Gladiators this year?
Trevor, we can't actually hear Isaiah on our end.
Oh, let me send a text.
Well, as you said, the Rattlers do have home field advantage, and this is actually a really incredible team. I've had a chance to go out to an arena football game. They play them down over at Footprint. It's an incredible atmosphere. It's really cool. I love the fact that it's really nitty gritty, right? Like you look at the NFL now, and yeah, you could say so much about like, oh, quarterbacks and blah, 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 and nobody wants to get hit anymore, but they do not care in the IFL. They just go at it, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really cool atmosphere, and there's a really strong fan base there. You know, for a sport that's been so small and so underground for such a long time, has gone through a lot of different redevelopments. Like it used to be the AFL, now it's the IFL, right? It's such a cool fan base. Have you ever been out to one of those games, Jake?
No, I haven't, but I know a friend. I have a friend who's like a big Rattlers fan. He actually works for a Varsity Sports Show, Sam Valenti. So,
Sam, yeah. Another Cronkite kid.
Another Cronkite kid. He has his own podcast about arena football, and it's, I get my knowledge from him. I don't have a lot of knowledge, but I have like base. I know the Rattlers are very good, so that's why. At least I need to know that.
Yeah, they're one of the best teams for the IFL. Looks like we got Isaiah on the line, so Trevor, take it away.
Hey, Isaiah, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Sorry about the technical difficulty.
Oh, no, you're good. So how does the team approach for the playoffs as the team is riding a 4-game winning streak against going into the playoffs and is also 3-0 against the Gladiators this year?
Yeah, I would definitely say we've been locked in all week. Obviously, like you said, we played them already 3 times this year. But that can kind of be a good and a bad thing, So we're familiar with them, but teams can get overconfident having beaten a team 3 times already. So the main focal point for us this week was just being locked in on the details, the game plan, and what we really got to do to make sure we don't get caught overlooking them.
Yeah, for sure. I went to a Rattlers game earlier this year. Shout out to Bailey for getting these tickets. How does the home field advantage affect the game for you? I know it gets loud in the Footprint Center.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. The Snake Pit definitely gets the rocking, and that gives us a bunch of energy. Myself, personally, I feed off the crowd's energy, and so we definitely have the best fan base in the IFL for sure, no doubt about it.
For fans that haven't attended an IFL game before, what should they expect on Sunday?
Man, if you haven't been to an IFL or an arena game in general, you got to expect a lot of fast-paced action. The fans are right there on the wall, so it's a lot of up-close action right in front of you. Dudes end up in the stands all the time, so it's definitely a fan-friendly event, and kids, the whole family, they'll love it. So definitely want to check one out if you haven't been.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. What's been the team's motto this year? What's been the key for y'all having a successful season?
Yeah, for us, it's all been about one goal, and that's obviously winning the championship. We've been there in the past couple years, but have failed to bring it home. So this year, it's just all been about bringing home that 7th World Championship and getting it done for the fans. And this team, we're all like a family and very tight brotherhood, call it, and we all play for each other. So I think that's been the key to success this year.
For sure. But the Rattlers have had success throughout the years. What does that play into the game plan going into this playoff?
Yeah, obviously, like you said, we've had a lot of success in the past, and Coach Guy and the Rattlers organization know how to get things done. They're winners, and so they know how to run a successful organization, and obviously that sets the standard that you got to show up and produce every day, whether that's film, workouts, or practice. It's not just all about the game. So we show up and we bring our plus effort every day, and I think that's the key to the success the Rattlers has had over the years.
For sure. Thank you, Isaiah, for joining the Varsity Sports Show. Good luck on Sunday. Listeners, make sure to get your tickets and bring the home field advantage for the Rattlers on Sunday at 3:05 p.m. You can get your tickets by visiting Ticketmaster.com.
Yes, sir. We'll see you then Sunday. Thank you, man.
Have a good one.
Thank you, Trevor. Thank you, Isaiah. Man, what a great interview with local legend. Isaiah, of course, from Anthem, Arizona. So he's really doing it, really supporting and bringing it home for the Rattlers, such a historic team in the IFL and the AFL era. Absolutely incredible. So if you can go out, make sure you go. I know Trevor said it a bunch. Ticketmaster, get out there on Sunday. Get out to Phoenix. It should be a really fun game. Coming up next, though, we got the Lowdown with Linz, everybody's favorite segment. Let's give it a listen.
What's up, y'all? My name is Lindsay Selzer from Varsity Sports Show, and this is another segment of the Lowdown with Linz, where you get a healthy mix of sports and pop culture, just like me. All right, so let's get into it. For our first sports story today, we have something nice and local. Our big man DeAndre Ayton will be staying with the Phoenix Suns. So DeAndre Ayton signed a 4-year, $133 million max offer sheet with the Pacers on July 12th, and then the Suns had until 11:59 Eastern Time on July 14th to match the largest offer sheet in NBA history, but they ended up matching it as soon as they received it. So this is great news for Phoenix. I'm really excited to see what he will bring next season to the court and how he'll work with the rest of our team. I know that we had a rough last game of the season, especially against Golden State, so I'm really excited for this upcoming season and seeing what the results will be. All right. And for our second sports story, the ESPYs were this week, so I'm going to talk about a few of the awards that were given out and who some of those winners were. So congratulations to all the winners, and just a few that I'm going to put out there. We have Best Championship Performance given to Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams, referring to a Super Bowl performance. Best Athlete in Women's Sports, we have Katie Ledecky. And the best record-breaking performance is by Stephen Curry for the most three-pointers made in NBA history. Best play is from Megan Rapinoe when she scores from the corner. Best comeback athlete is Klay Thompson of the Golden State Warriors. Best team, Golden State Warriors. Pat Tillman Award for Service, Gretchen Evans. Jimmy V Award for Perseverance, Dick Vitale. Best MLS player, we have Carlos Vela of LAFC. Best athlete in a disability sports, men's sports, Brad Snyder of the Paratriathlon. Best athlete with a disability in women's sports, Jessica Long, swimming. Best athlete in men's action sports, Eli Tomac, Supercross. Best athlete women's action sports, Eileen Gu, skiing. Best collegiate athlete for men, Bryce Young of Alabama football. Best collegiate athlete for women, Jocelyn Alo of Oklahoma softball, who we've talked about before. Best international women's athlete, Sam Kerr of Chelsea. Best MMA fighter, Charles Oliveira. Best NBA player, Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors. Best WNBA player, Candace Parker of the Chicago Sky. Best NFL player, Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers. Best NHL player, Connor McDavid, Edmonton Oilers. Best athlete, men's golf, Justin Thomas. Best athlete, women's golf, Nelly Korda. Best bowler, Kyle Troop. Best boxer, Tyson Fury. Best driver, Kyle Larson of NASCAR. Best game, Kansas City Chiefs defeat the Buffalo Bills in overtime. I remember that. That was awesome. Best jockey, Jose Ortiz. Best Olympian men's sports, Caleb Dressel swimming. Best Olympian in the women's sports, Katie Ledecky swimming. Best WWE moment is when Cody Rhodes returns to WWE at WrestleMania. And I did say a lot there, but those definitely weren't all the ESPYs that were given out, so go check out more and see if you happen to miss that. And now moving on to pop culture, the biggest story of the week. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are officially married. They were married at a drive-through chapel in Las Vegas, along with 3 other couples. The two were actually engaged in 2004, and then they both married other people, various other famous people, and then they rekindled back in 2021, and now they're married. And I'm really excited to see what they do with their blended family, how they're going to handle being together again. I think that they're a really great pop culture duo, and congratulations to the both of them, and we wish them well. And then I have to add in a little bit of Real Housewives news because I was really excited about this one. But Tamra Judge is returning to the Real Housewives of Orange County after taking a few years off. Right now she's currently being shown on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, and I've really enjoyed seeing her again, so she will be back, and I'm super excited. So I just wanted to come on here and say that for my second and last pop culture story. So that's all we got for today, folks, for the Lowdown with Linz, where you get a healthy mix of sports and pop culture, just like me. I'm Lindsay Selzer, and tune in next time. Bye, y'all.
I had totally forgotten about the ESPYs. I didn't even watch that at all. Good to see Jocelyn won an award, though, holding it down for Hawaii. And I saw that you were going a little nice over there for Katie Ledecky, too.
Yeah, I mean, DC represents. She is, like, huge star. I mean, she's a huge star in general, but, like, she's a local legend, so.
Yeah, the ESPYs is such a weird award show. It's so like spread out. I can't really get into it because it's not like it's something that's like official, you know? Like Aaron Rodgers winning best NFL player. Okay, but who was actually the MVP? You know what I'm saying? Like
Aaron Rodgers did win MVP.
That he won it this past season again, right?
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like, why do you win 2 awards?
Exactly.
So it's like it doesn't matter. That's why it's like it seems like a fake award to me.
It's like the Golden Globes to the Oscars.
Right. I do think though, like someone like Connor McDavid winning best NHL player, you know, that makes sense, and that seems a little bit more fair in aspect because he didn't even get to a championship. He didn't get a chance to.
Austin Matthews won MVP. Well, MVP though, so it's like
yeah, that's a great point. Which is why like see it's so contradictory, right?
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
Yeah,
why do we need
either. I think it's just like name recognition.
Exactly. It's just ESPN doing another thing, but it's cool, I guess. I don't know. It's something. After the break, we got the recruiting spotlight here on the Varsity Sports Show, and coming up in a little bit, we got Jake with the live segment MLB, so make sure you stick around after the break for the Varsity Sports Show on KDUS AM 1060.
HD Radio is here for KDUS AM 1060. Check out your favorite shows and games on 100.7 KSLX HD2.
The Varsity Sports Show is proud to present the Thursday and Saturday night high school football game of the week. Coaches, administrators, boosters, and fans partner up with the varsity team to broadcast your games this fall. Choose from Thursday or Saturday night and have an exclusive audience on a big stage. Call or text us at 480-779-9437 right away and join our team. High school football action on Thursdays and Saturday nights this fall, brought to you by the Varsity Sports Show. Hey guys, Vince here. Please join me in welcoming the 2022 Varsity Sports Show summer broadcast team.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Selzer from ASU's Cronkite School of Journalism.
Hi, I'm Trevor Goodwin from ASU's Sandra Day O'Connor College of Law.
Hi, I'm Jake Brown from ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication.
Hi, I'm Xander Simmons from Cactus Shadows High School.
Hi, I'm Tyler Bender from ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication.
Hello, sports fans. This is Dick Stockton, and you are listening to Arizona's home of youth, high school, college, and you, the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
Ready to bring KDUS AM 1060 into your home with Alexa?
Hi, I'm Alexa.
Download the KDUS AM 1060 skill and enable. Then say, Alexa, open KDUS AM 1060.
This is where I start my day.
It's time for the Recruiting Spotlight, sponsored by My Recruits and Coach Perone.
Brought to you by Coach Perone of My Recruits. Coach, you want to focus on one school this week. You've got a couple kids over there out at Paradise Honors.
You know, I do it, and I'm blessed, Vince, to have 12, I think 13 programs in the state that I work closely with. I work with the head coaches. I work with several of the players, and I thought it would be good if we start spotlighting maybe some teams. I think you've done something here and started something great with doing this camp circuit. And I'd like to start bringing some more visibility to the teams overall. And, I think Paradise Honors is a great place for us to start. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea. I had a chance to visit with Coach Goodlow out there at their camp out at Blue Ridge just this past week, and good group of kids. He's a very positive guy, speaks positively and walks positively, talks positively, everything. And I just think he's great for their program out there and is doing an amazing job, and he's just a great guy to talk to. So what do you got?
He is a great guy, and I'm very excited to work with him, and we work hand in hand together, as well as Coach Mike Young, who was on that team, and he's, a tremendous asset to helping those guys with recruiting for me. Shoot, his kid's a great place to start. I mean, I don't know if you had a good chance to see Mikey Young out there, but this young man is, one of the best, arguably, 2023 corners in the state, and I mean, he's freakishly athletic. He's long, stands at over 6'2", about 180 pounds, 9-foot broad jump. He's strong in the weight room. He's got great range. He uses his hands well. Fantastic hips. I spoke to Coach Pham, who's now up at Minot State. He says, God, this might be one of the most under-recruited kids you guys have.
Wow.
And I said, he is. And, he does a lot of great things. And he comes from a great family. I mean, his brother Brad was a Division I tight end that went out of Centennial, who's now playing quarterback out of California at the junior college out there. And, it's just when you look at some of these players that are starting to stay at some of these smaller programs, it's big. Mikey Young, Gage Baker, 12 Gage Baker, one of the best 2024 quarterbacks around, man. This kid stepped in and threw for 1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns in 3 games.
Wow.
I mean, you want to talk about, and I nicknamed him 12 Gauge because he's got a shotgun for an arm.
Has it caught on?
I mean, absolutely it has. You know, and he loves it too. But you mean, Gage Baker at the quarterback position, I mean, they have a stud at running back. And I don't know if you had a chance to see Vance Cooper, but this kid plays like there is no tomorrow. He leaves everything on the field, actively getting recruited as a fullback by the University of San Diego. Matt Aponte loves what he sees out of Cooper. Yeah, I mean, this is a team that is very well put together. I mean, Noah Locke. I'm trying to think of so many guys. Jaden, Domville.
Yeah.
You know, they're loaded. Garrison Est. I mean, this team is poised to make a big run. I think they're one of the favorites in that division.
You know,
and I think Goodlow's going to put it all together.
Well, it's interesting, Coach, because it used to be back, 20, 30 years ago, a long time ago, that athletes were – you could only find the athletes, the big-time blue chippers at the 5A, 6A level. And that's not the case anymore. Now you're seeing kids that are going to schools for the quality of the experience, the quality of the education, and going to 2A, 3A programs, obviously 4A, but and you're seeing it across the board. And I can't tell you, I can't remember the last time I've seen so many talented quarterbacks at smaller schools.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, perfect example, like I said, 12 Gage Baker. I think Gage Baker up for the Ed Darty Award last year. I mean, let's not lose sight of that. This is a small-time quarterback, small-time school with a big-time quarterback. And he had no doubts about coming there and building this team around him. And athletes are staying, athletes are coming. I'm one with big, bold predictions.
Yes.
I believe if Paradise Honors stays healthy, they will compete for an undefeated season.
You are putting them in the conversation.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think they have too many weapons. I do. A lot of questions in the trenches, of course, at multiple levels, but I definitely think they have enough firepower and enough skill guys to do some damage. I think the 1-2 punch, Vince, of Baker and Cooper is going to be really hard to stop. I really do. Interesting.
Wow.
These are guys that can compete on a 5A, 6A level tomorrow. So you're going to tell me that they're in sync too. When I talk to Cooper, man, he's about as focused as can be. Baker is a winner. So strap up, man. The big three over there, and Mikey Young and Baker and Cooper, and then you add Est and Jaden and all those other guys, and watch out. Coach Goodlow is going to make some noise, and he's going to make it early.
All right, Paradise honors the Panthers. Coach Goodlow, you've got a prediction here. You better hold true to it from the great Coach Perone.
I hope he doesn't get mad that I put him out there.
An undefeated season.
Let's go get it.
All right. On behalf of Coach Perone with the Recruiting Spotlight, thanks again, Coach. We'll talk to you next week. Nice work as always.
Sounds great, Vince. Thank you.
This is Trevor Goodwin for Varsity Sports Show with your NCAA recap of the week. Football Media Day has dominated the news last week. First, Georgia football head coach Kirby Smart signed a contract extension for the 2031 season that will make Smart the highest paid football coach at a public university, making $10.25 million in his first year. The contract will have annual increases that are increased to $12,250,000 for the 2031 season, making the total package worth $112.5 million before bonuses. The total compensation amount is larger than any other coaching contract in college sports. This comes after Georgia won their first national championship in 41 years and having an impressive 65-15 record in 6 seasons. Auburn head coach Brian Harsin opened his news conference addressing the investigation of the Tigers program, saying it was uncomfortable and it was unfounded. It presented an opportunity for people to personally attack me, my family, and also our program, and it didn't work. The university investigated the football program after an exodus of players and assistant coaches. The defections came after Auburn started the 2021 season with a 6-2 record before dropping the last 5 games of the season to finish 6-7. Harsin was hired at Auburn in December 2020 after 7 years at Boise State. He replaced Gus Malzahn, who was fired in the 2020 season and received a buyout of $21.45 million. He added that the pandemic made it difficult for the transition in his new role and believed it was an impact on the team. Auburn will open their season against Mercer on September 3rd. Texas A&M wide receiver Anaya Smith has been suspended following an arrest on Wednesday. Smith was charged with DWI, unlawful carrying of a weapon, and possession of less than 2 ounces of marijuana, according to jail records. Smith is a senior and was scheduled to represent the Aggies at SEC Media Days on Thursday as the team's leading returning receiver from the 2021 season, but he was replaced after his arrest. Smith was a captain for the Texas A&M Aggies last season, while catching 47 passes for 509 yards and 6 touchdowns. He also returned 23 punts for an average of 11.3 yards per return, with a touchdown while serving as one of the Texas A&M's biggest playmaking threats. Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M did not announce how long the suspension will be. The NCAA has proposed a change to a transfer portal for football that would limit transfer activity to a pair of multi-week periods every year. The council recommended an entry window for transfer, a period of time which student athletes must provide written notification of transfer for eligibility. The proposal would bring 2 transfer portal windows to college football, one for the 45 days beginning the day following the championship selection and the first 2 weeks of May at the conclusion of spring practice, totaling at 60 days. This has been a change that coaches have been pushing for to limit tampering and also create an even playing field for recruits. This is something to keep an eye on as the transfer portal has increased in activity and players continuing to change schools with influence of name, image, and likeness deals. This is Trevor Goodwin for Varsity Sports Show, your NCAA recap of the week. See you next time for another report.
Welcome back in the studio for the Varsity Sports Show. Tyler Bender, Jake Brown with you on KDUS AM 1060. I love the recruiting spotlight segment. I've talked about this in the past, but I love it so much because in a day and age where high schoolers can get drafted number 1 overall for baseball, and for basketball and for football, we talk about 4- and 5-star recruits like their household names. There's a lot of kids who go unrecognized who could perform very well at a D2, D3 school and then make their way up to the D1, right? There's a lot of kids that don't get that opportunity because so many people are I feel like so many people are so hyper-focused on, all those kids who are incredible coming out that we sometimes give up. My greatest example, Kyle Hendricks, pitcher for the Cubs, won a World Series as their ace. He was a walk-on at Dartmouth, and then now he's, the number 1 starter for the Chicago Cubs.
I mean, I don't think number 1 starter is saying much for the Cubs right now.
Oh, okay.
My team's doing bad right now, so I can't say anything.
Let me phrase it this: he was the Game 7 starter in the 2016 World Series and pitched five flawless innings. So
Yes.
So
I'm just giving you. Yeah, I'm just pulling your leg.
I know. So just that idea though, like you give some kid a chance. It can really go a long way. I got some friends who are playing D2, D3 football and baseball, and they've tried to work their way up, but there are limitations. It's not everybody who can, but just that idea that someone gave them a look. A kid from Hawaii or a kid from nowhere. Someone gives you a look, and you're able to go do something with it and explore new opportunities and new avenues. That's just, it's life-changing. And with a segment like Recruiting Spotlight, we give those kids that opportunity, and I just think it's really incredible to see. I'm all about it.
Yeah, and I'll talk about this in a few minutes, but, the first 3 or 4 players in the MLB draft were high schoolers.
Right.
But then what about the kids who don't get drafted in the first round, who don't have famous last names? Like Holiday and Jones and Crawford, who are in the MLB draft. But it's just interesting to hear high school players, no matter the sport, getting highlighted.
Right. And as you mentioned, you are having a live segment right after this. I know you're bringing your friend on, so stick around after the break. We'll be talking more MLB. I feel like we've just been talking baseball all day. We're 2 baseball guys, so that's all it's all about. We'll be back after the break on the Varsity Sports Show on KDUS AM 1060.
Need social information about KDUS AM 1060? Try KDUS1060.com, at KDUS AM 1060 on Twitter, and Facebook.com/KDUS AM 1060.
What's up, Varsity Sports Show? My name is Jake Brown, and I am a sports journalism student at ASU's Cronkite School. As a sports fanatic myself, I know the news and topics us fans will be interested in. And even though I'm a sports guy, I'll also tell you what's new in movies and TV shows each week. See y'all next time on Varsity Sports Show.
Hey guys, Vince here to talk to you about a good friend of mine named Bob Jenkins. Bob is a Marine Corps veteran. Bob and his younger brother DJ own Vets Built Contracting. You've seen their trucks around Metro Phoenix, I'm sure. For 5 years, they've been hiring and putting veterans to work. Vets Built is licensed, bonded, and insured, both residential and commercial, specializing in renovations, remodeling, new build, casitas, safe rooms, or small commercial TI work. If you're a skilled veteran looking for work, a homeowner in need of work, or a commercial business needing TI work, please call Bob or DJ at Vets Built at 480-584-3675.
Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com. In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
Your caddy, Ray Adams, takes you beyond the 18th hole on Saturday mornings with Great American Golf from 6 to 7 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. Tyler Bender, Jake Brown in the studio with you. Jake, you got a friend on the line. Let's I want to talk some more baseball. Let's go.
Yeah,
Come on, give it to me.
no problem. Not only is he my friend, he is also my co-host of my show on ASU's radio station. Up on Deck is the name of our show. It's about minor league baseball. Jeffrey, how are you doing?
I am great, Jake. Great to be on the Varsity Sports Show. Tyler, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you as well.
I'm ready to talk some baseball.
Yes, and Jeffrey is also a fellow Cronkite kid, Tyler.
More Cronkite kids.
More Cronkite kids. So, we've talked baseball a lot in our banters, but we haven't talked much about the MLB draft and the MLB futures game. And, we are minor league guys, so why don't we talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah. MLB draft was great. It was just a legacy draft. The first two picks were Major League's kids. Jackson Holliday going 1, Drew Jones going 2 to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then Carl Crawford's son getting picked up by the Phillies. Eric Karros' son wasn't in the first round, but Eric Karros' son got picked up by the Dodgers. That's a pretty cool story. Just the legacy of some of these players is insane. And, it could be one for the ages. Kumar Rocker getting picked up at 3 by the Rangers, pairing back up with Jack Leiter. Like, don't get me wrong, the Rangers right now are a mid-team at best, but give that team 3 or 4 years to develop, and that team is going to be great. Right?
Yeah, I agree with. I was shocked that Kumar Rocker went number 3 because he was like a fringe first-round prospect this year, and then he gets drafted by Texas. And the more you think about it, the more it makes sense.
Yeah. Also because the Rangers didn't have a second or third round pick this year. And, obviously Kumar probably would have been gone by the 4th round, which they picked up Brock Porter in the 4th round, which is the best high school prep arm that out of the draft. Somehow he fell to the 4th round. He was the 11th ranked prospect in the draft, and Texas picked him up in the 4th round. So if I had to give out draft grades, Texas is an A+++ for me because they got exactly what they need in 2 really great arms, and they only had 2 picks within the first 4 rounds.
Yeah,
So,
and another thing that happened is that ASU got some players drafted.
Right.
Joe Lampe was drafted by the Cleveland Guardians. Sean McClain to the LA Dodgers. That's your team, Jeff.
My
so
team.
that was really exciting to see. And we got some other players. I know Kyle Luckham went to the Nationals. Ethan Long to the Giants in the 20th round. And
Ethan Long, Mr. Irrelevant.
It's true.
Very last pick in the entire draft.
That is
So,
true. I'm not sure if he's gonna sign with the Giants, but the fact that he got drafted when he was within the 150 ranked prospects was really shocking to me. But I think it's because he is probably not gonna sign.
Right. Somebody, and then here's another storyline from the draft. Somebody that was projected as high as even the 2nd or 3rd round that dropped all the way to, I think, the 17th round is Gavin Turley out of Hamilton High School, a local product. I watched him in the MLB draft combine. This dude was hitting dingers like it was nobody's business, right? He has raw power for days. But I think the main knock on him was that he has a tendency to swing and miss a lot, and he's not very disciplined at the plate. So that might be why he dropped to the 17th round, but I really don't see why he wasn't picked past the 5th round. And I got some Twitter trolls in my mentions that are like, oh, he probably wants too much money or this and that. But, I don't know. Gavin Turley's he's an interesting prospect. Another guy that I don't think is going to sign. I think he's going to go straight to Oregon State. But, 2 or 3 years down the road, he could be a top draft prospect.
I think the best player in the draft, though, in the 1st round at least, is he is exciting. He has the swag. He is going to be the future of baseball, and that's Termarr Johnson, who was an ASU commit, but there's no way being picked 4th overall by the Pirates that he's going to be an ASU Sun Devil.
Well, hold on now. This is the Pirates we're talking about.
Our resident Cubs fan here.
Okay, but when's the last time a Pirates have actually kept their 1st round pick for longer than 3-4 years? You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Fact. I know exactly
that is
what you're saying.
facts. That is facts.
How about the Cubs picking up Cade Horton at 7, somebody that had 5 great games in the College World Series, and he's been, he's a good rotational piece, but to pick him at 7 overall, how do you feel about that, Tyler?
I feel great because we drafted 9 pitchers in the first 10 rounds, and that's exactly what we need is more pitching. The one thing our organization has never focused on, because we go in the offseason and we pick up like 9 outfielders for no reason. I'm like, okay, where's our pitching though? I don't care if these guys are going to end up being starters down the line. You can trade for starters, but if you can start to build a bullpen, which is what we need to do, we'll be fine. And so I like the idea that the Cubs went out there and got a lot of pitchers. When I scrolled through it, I was like, that's exactly what I wanted to see.
I mean,
right? Exactly.
It reminds me of last year with the Angels when they drafted in all 20 rounds of pitchers.
Exactly.
Because they need pitching. The other side of the coin is like, well, if all those pitchers don't pan out, that's
which is what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen though. We already know it. Like that's just the reality.
All right.
Here's a fun little story though. The Dodgers trying to sign Trey Turner. Right, they think he might cost too much money, so 4 of their first 6 picks were shortstops.
Interesting.
Perfect.
Interesting.
And their first pick was a catcher. So I mean, they just signed Austin Barnes to an extension. Will Smith. He really should have been an all-star in my book. Mm-hmm. But they picked up Dalton Rushing in the 2nd round. And we go all the way down to the 10th round. You get Simon Reed out of Westmont College, which is another catcher.
All right, Jeffrey, I'm going to have to cut you off, but it was great talking to you, man. Great having like a short up on deck here on the show, and I'll see you later. Talk to you later.
Thanks for joining, Jeffrey.
Talk to you later, Jake.
We're gonna head back over to Xander. He's got another update from Israel. Xander, take it away.
What is going on, everybody? It is Xander from the Varsity Sports Show. This is the 4th and final week of the Israeli Minute, and I'm joined by 3 special guests. I'm here with Ori.
Hi guys, I'm Ori Ramosteiner from New York City.
I'm here with Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben Miller from Ra'anana, Israel.
And I'm here with Ari.
Hi, my name is Ari Cohen, and I'm from San Francisco, California.
The last time we talked to you guys, we were halfway through Jerusalem. We finished Jerusalem. Ori, as a whole, what did you think about Jerusalem?
I thought it was a great experience overall. I mean, I was there when I was really young, but being here now, I really got to connect with like the place and the people, and I thought it was a great example of the entirety of like Israeli culture, and I got a spiritual connection to the land now, really. I thought it was a great experience.
It was also my first time in Jerusalem, and I can back up everything he was saying, the most holy city on the planet, and it was really incredible. Ben, we also went to the Kotel. What did you think about the Kotel? If you guys didn't know, the Kotel is the Western Wall. What did you think, Ben?
I love the Kotel. I feel like I go there a lot in different stages of my life. And I've been with school, in elementary school, I've been in middle school, high school, gap year, and going now in this year of my life when I'm working on the program, it's a very different experience.
Yeah, my first time at the Kotel was definitely interesting, seeing all the different groups of Israelis, and hopefully later in my life I can make it back there. We also went to the Old City, and Ari, what did you think about the Old City of Jerusalem?
I loved exploring the Old City and looking at the twisting and winding streets that had lots of cobblestone in it, and of course I loved the food. The shawarma and falafel were delicious, and it all contributed to the experience that I had.
So after the Old City, after Jerusalem, we went down south, and we are now right outside of Gaza, and the hotel is really interesting. Ori, can you kind of tell us about the hotel?
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting to see because being so close to the border, everything is super protected from incoming missiles and threats like that. So when you open your window, you see it's like a blast door almost, and it's really it gets you in the state of mind the people who live here have to be in.
And Ari, today we saw the Caterpillar Playground. Can you kind of explain what the Caterpillar Playground is and what the Caterpillar itself represents?
Yeah, so the Caterpillar Playground was just any old playground that you might see walking down the street, except for it had a long caterpillar going through it, and it served a dual purpose as both a structure to play in and a bomb shelter in case rockets were fired and nearby the playground, which is very interesting to see how they are able to cope with being so close to an enemy.
Yeah, it kind of puts into perspective how everything works. So, you could be cooking, you could be cleaning, and then 10 seconds later, you could be dead from a missile. And Ben, just to kind of wrap things up, what are we going to be doing next week and flying back? Like, what is the final thing we're going to be doing here on the Israel trip?
So the next thing that we have up this weekend is a Shabbat in En Gedi. So we're going to be staying in En Gedi by the Dead Sea. It's a very nice kibbutz. And really early Sunday morning on the sunrise, we're going to take a hike up Masada, which is meant to be very monumental for the Jew. After that, we're going to return to Jerusalem. Once we finished in the Dead Sea, we're going to wrap it up there, sort of have everything come full circle, have a nice sort of ceremony and party at the hotel, and then we're going to send you to the airport.
And then we are going to leave. So this has been the final Israeli Minute, but I believe I will have one chance to wrap it up next Saturday with you guys on the Varsity Sports Show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Ori, Ari, and Ben for coming on. Don't move a muscle. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much, Xander. It's been so fun hearing about your trip through Israel. We really miss you out here and missing your content. But that's going to be it for the show, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, the Varsity Sports Show this week. Jake and I will be back next week for another great show. And I think that'll be the last time that we're actually in the studio. I think the week after that, we're technically done with this internship, which is so crazy to say. It seems like we just started it.
It's been a lot of fun.
It has been so much fun, so I'm excited for next week. We're going to pull out all the stops next week. We're going to make it an amazing show. But, yeah, thank you so much for joining us, for all our amazing broadcasters, for Trevor, for Lindsay, for our producer, Aaron Decker, for Vince. Make sure you listen to Ed and Javon on EC Sports coming up next, and make sure you follow Vince with the Summer Football Tour, as that is still continuing. He goes around the valley. And, again, thank you so much for joining us on the Varsity Sports Show. For Tyler Bennett, for Jake Brown, thank you so much. KDUS AM 1060. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.